Alright, we are back with part 14, and let's see. We have entered the mysterious idolosphere. I don't know. I don't think we need that since we just walked in. Yeah. Well, it ran away from me. Yay! We found Remembered Duty. Okie dokie. Get out of here with this. Jeez. I don't think I've saved in a while. Hopefully I don't get murdered. That would be super annoying. I do not have a treasure key. I cannot go that way. Another one? Really? Wow, game. Go fuck yourself. Yeesh. It seems to be connected to somewhere. Shall we proceed? Why not? Alright, well we got rid of that stupid thing. Not that that was necessary, I guess. We got a bead chain. Too bad it wasn't the treasure chest key thingy. Let me check back here. I don't recall if I checked both sides. Oh my god. Not weird at all. Alrighty. Received a new topic. You can now make new weapons. Maiko says the final battle is getting close. Make sure you're well prepared. Cabria has new items. Go check it out. Barry says, Itsuki, is it true that you're going into an idolosphere created by Tiki? That's not fair. I want to go too. What a dumbass. Alright, well there's nothing there. And nothing meower as well, so we should be good to go. I already went in there, of course. Oh my god. This game just will not leave me alone with these random encounters. Yes, look at the building. So important. Itsuki says, "What's this?" Tharsha says, "More of Tiki's memories, the history of our world from the look of it." The mage who bore malice against... Once there was a man who wished to be a mighty sorcerer. He sought a master sage, undergoing toilsome study as his pupil. However, when his mentor chose another disciple as heir to his power, the man's envy drove him to darkness. The sorcerer's name was Garneth. Yashido says Garneth. Momori says, "I knew Garneth was a bad, evil man, but I didn't know he had a past like that." Momori says, "Even though he went through so much, in the end it must have felt like it was all for nothing." Toma says, "Yeah, real sob story. Just because your life ended up crappy doesn't give you an excuse to screw up everyone else's." Ellie says, "For once we agree, Garneth's just taking his anger out on everyone, and this sounds like the plot of some dumb B-movie." Toma says, "A sorcerer who hates the world and is a celebrity has gone completely nuts. Can't wait." Ellie says, "Whatever they've done, they're on the side of evil now, and a good Hollywood hero always punishes the villain." A hero's voice says, "You must be the ones who came to be tested. You want to perform the opera." Toma says, "Who's that?" Tsubasa says, "I don't know, but I feel a strong power." The voice says, "The trial will be given by us, the heroes of the distant past. Now overcome this trial and prove to us that you are a worthy vessel for a hero." Alright, I guess I just go in Meower. Maybe let's open that, just to be safe. I sense danger. What should I do? We enter the door. Danger! It's dangerous. So much danger. Anyways, the voice says, "The trial is simple. All you have to do is prove your strength. If you would inherit our power, don't hold anything back." Itsuki says, "Alright, let's give him everything we got." If I run back and forth a little bit during these sessions, it's just because I'm pulling food out of the oven. Anyways... Damage plus charm and heal. Damage all enemies and gain SP. I'd rather damage all the enemies. Plus I don't think I've seen that one yet. At least not this playthrough. Neato. Nah, whatever, that's fine. What does it lead to? Ice and sword. So let's get Yashiro then. Because he can do both in one shot. Yay! And whatever that was is now dead. Larja leveled up Mazandine. The hero voice says, "You've proven strength of body and strength of will. Our power is yours. Please complete the Opera of Light." Guess that levels up those three. Or something. Ellie says, I feel their souls. That's how the trial works. Alright, leave the archer part to me. Amori says, "We're one step closer to the Opera of Light." Kidia says, "If we keep gaining these powers and perform the ritual, then she trails off." Ellie says, "We can't stop now, we have another audience waiting for us." Mitsuki says, "Yeah, if the heroes want to know our power, then we'll prove it to them." They'll prove it to it. Oh ye. Oh ye. Alright, well I don't know if there's... oh. Sneaky sneaky. Claptrack X2. Well, I guess there's nothing else in here. Whee! Ah, another glowing thingy appeared somewhere. It's to the right, apparently. Tiki's final side story is now available, I guess. Oh, I didn't know she still had one left. Whatever. There we go. Seems to be connected somewhere. Shall we go? You bet your sweet cookie cakes. I don't see anything over there. There's a different door. That took us somewhere I don't want to go. So, bear with me a sec, I need to go check on that oven. Alrighty. Well, we already checked that, and that was a big pile of nothing. Freaking, my slash went through that guy and it didn't hit. Oh well. Maybe he's just not hungry.
No, the fly was like kicking his legs, basically.
That's so rude.
One jumped across the plane trying to get it.
And more Unity Note crap for weapons. Alright. So, really? I take 2 steps and you're gonna pop out another enemy. So freaking rude. Anyways, we get to the second place. Looks like a dragon is attacking a fireball being summoned by a mage. Kyria says, Tiki's memories, this must be more of her world history. The sealed dragon, Garnath loathed the world of his kin and resurrected the shadow dragon to destroy the world of man. He allied himself with the dragon and schemed to dominate the land. With his eldritch magics and the raw might of the dragon races, none could stand to oppose the sorcerer. Crom says the shadow dragon Medeus. So this is the creature Garnath is trying to summon. A hero's voice says it seems someone in need of these old bones has finally arrived. If you wish to obtain my power, then you must overcome the trial. This will be my final duty. Navarre says, it appears the next trial awaits. Yashido says, let's move. Nothing will stand between me and Garnath. Itsuki says, yeah, let's go. And we have opened another portal. Doesn't appear we missed anything, so let's just move on forward. I sense evil. We will proceed anyway. The voice says, you've come, fledglings from another world. Allow me to put you to the test and see if you are worthy. If you hold back, you may regret it. Itsuki says, let's go, everyone. Palo says, show us your strength. And increases their own strength. That was a multi-target spell. Whatever. Agna says the battlefield is the only world I know. And attacks me. Whatever. Well, I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Oh, that thing is still alive, huh? I did not expect that. Ad-lib performance. The hungry, hungry man. Oh my. The voice says, you've done well to endure this trial. I entrust my power to you. Tsubasa says, did we prove ourselves? Toma says, hell yeah, we'll give him the show of a lifetime. Yashido says, I've been cast in the part of a swordsman. How apropos. Tsubasa says, Itsuki's the only one left. Itsuki says, we'll beat the next trial too. Okay. We found a Soma. Blah blah blah, more weapons. Yeah. No treasure keys, yet more locked boxes. Oh, there's some dude over here. Whatever, I think that's a side quest, and I haven't done any of it, so there's really no point. Remembered Clash. Itsuki says another carving. The azure-haired hero. With Garnef's sorcery and the Shadow Dragon's unearthly power, peace and order gave way to fires of war. In these years of strife, a young man with hair of vivid cobalt rose to quell the turmoil. His name was Marth. His noble and merciful spirit compelled even vicious foes to swear fealty, and together they strove for peace. The journey was arduous, but Marth and his allies were of one heart, and by their power they sealed Garnef away. Thus did the blue-haired Prince Marth become a legendary hero, etching his name into history forever. Crom says, Marth, I know that name somehow. Tsubasa says, so this is the hero Tiki was talking about, the one who beat the Shadow Dragon with the Divine Dragon's power. Itsuki says, so we're going through the same thing Marth did. Momori says Marth sealed Garnef a really long time ago. Is the Garnef we're fighting the same one from the story? Itsuki says, now that you mention it. Tharja says, good chance they're the same person. Garnef mastered elder magic. Even if he couldn't break the seal, he could have found a way to stay alive. After all that time, if the seal had weakened even the slightest, that chance is all he would need to break out. Itsuki says we can't afford to take him lightly. A hero's voice says, the history you have observed on your path is the opera of light itself. It will lead you to the Divine Dragon. Young heroes who carry on our spirit, beyond here lies your final trial, and there the Hero King awaits. I say the next trial, is our last, and we'll be facing the Hero King Marth himself. Tsubasa says, let's do our best. If we can beat him, the Hero King will accept Itsuki. Toma says, alright Itsuki, time to take care of business. Itsuki says, yeah, let's give it everything we got. Alright, and we have unsealed the final warp portal. I sense danger. We proceed anyway. We're just crazy like that. Oh my. Itsuki says, Mr. Hatanaka, why are you here? Hatanaka says, I think the same reason you are. Didn't I mention that we have an opera to complete too? The Opera of Light does sound interesting, but we need the Shadow Dragon on stage first. Sorry. Crom says, why are you so intent on reviving the Shadow Dragon? Garnef says, why indeed? Why then do you fight to protect the world and its people, even with no memory of your past? Crom says, my memory doesn't matter. I'm a lord, I will always protect the weak from the cruel. My duty is to them. Garnef says, duty. Heh heh heh. Well, if you would assign a motive to my schemes, that would do. Envy and jealousy drove me mad, and I despised the world of mankind, but all that is long since past. The divine dragon is why I was forced to perform the opera in your world. If you would blame anyone, blame Naga. Itsuki says, Naga? Garnev says, in ages past, after the shadow dragon was locked away, Naga rid our world of performa, all the arts of performance. All to ensure that Medeus would never again be resurrected, thus the opera of shadows failed. Vexatious little godling, I had even deigned to banish Tiki to this world to ensure the opera's success. Itsuki says, that's why you came here. Garnev says, very good, child, but this world... Yes, this world is ripe with performa. I thought to have Crom and the rest of the Mirages harvest performa as my vanguard after I took their memories. Crom says, so that was your doing. If you're the one who stole our memories, give them back. Garnev says, why bother with such petty grasping? You must understand that the Shadow Dragon's reawakening is nigh. I, Itsuki, says Crom, and everyone else, we will stop you. Garnev says, I see, predictable. However, I will not allow you to hinder me further. The hour draws near. Garnev says, behold, the soul of the hero King Marth. Without it, the opera of light will never be complete. And yet... ... Marth's soul shall never be yours. He laughs and says, without it, your precious opera will never succeed. Yashido says, bastard, you intend on standing in our way to the last breath. Garnev says, ah, good boy. I see that dark flame burning in your heart. Hatred, resentment, anger. How delightful, how satisfying it shall be to see your fury give way to pure and utter despair. Ha ha ha. Yashido says, empty words, Garnev. If you think you can provoke me with hollow taunting, you're sadly mistaken. Yashido says, your ambitions end here. Hatanaka laughs and says, splendid, Yashido. They've helped you overcome your father's death. How poetic. Hatanaka says, well then, Garnev, shall we begin? Garnev says, Yatsufusa, are you certain? Hatanaka says, of course, these kids are actually pretty tough. If they get that soul, it'll all have been for nothing. So you can have my performa, all of it, just like I promised, but you have to revive the dragon. Promise me. Garnev says, very well, master. Heh heh heh. Hatanaka is laughing. Itsuki says, Mr. Hatanaka? It's leaving his body, they say. It says, try if you wish, but you have no hope. You will never stop me. And then he collapses to the ground. What is this thing? Is it like an enemy? I don't get it.
Not as bullshit.
And I'll be right back. I need some water. Let us kill this thing. What does it not like? It doesn't like wind, so he's useless then. I think I have like this kind of crap. Spirit Calling. What was he gonna do? Punch me with cosmic titties? Or is he just summoning more enemies? Okay. You are inflicted with Mind Surge. Your EP will decrease every time you do an action. Whatever. Yeah, he's still only weak to the other stuff. Well, let's do that. Lowers the resistances, and it hits them all. And it's a guaranteed session. I'm cool with that. Ooh, that bastard is dead. I guess that released all that performa and perhaps that one guy's soul. We got another Master Seal. Mazondine has been upgraded. Tetragard nullifies a single, non-almighty physical attack against the party for 1 round. Yeah, fuck that, because Tetrakarn is magic or physical, I think. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep what I have. I don't know what the difference is, honestly, though. Itsuki says, "Is it over?" There's a voice laughing. It says, "Heh heh heh. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Commendable, you have defeated me." And at last, the Opera of Shadows is finally complete. He says, "What?" And by the sacrifice of both Marth's soul and my own, the Shadow Dragon shall live again. Ah ha ha. Hee hee hee. Ho ho ho. Hum hum hum. Okay. Toma says, "What the heck?" Tsubasa says it's shaking. Itsuki says, "Grrr." Kram says the whole idolosphere is shaking. Varja says, "Damn him. The old man sacrificed his own soul to deliver the Hero King to the Shadow Dragon." Kidia says, "How could this happen?" Well, she just explained it, so, you know. Tsubasa says, "Is it calming down?" Momori says, "Do you hear that?" Yashido says, "A heartbeat." Varja says, "The heartbeat of the Shadow Dragon." Ellie says, "This is bad. It's like the part of the movie when aliens attack and the president is about to use the nukes." Toma says, "More like a camping vacation got interrupted by a serial killer with a machete." Kidia says, Marth's soul was stolen, meaning no Opera of Light, and the dragon lives. Everything that can go wrong has. Tsubasa says, "Itsuki, what are we gonna do? At this rate, the world will... Everyone will... ... I just say, we have to calm down." Tsubasa says, "I want to, but I don't know how we can fix it." Itsuki says, "Take a deep breath. We won't get anywhere if we all panic." I say the same thing to everyone in America regarding the coronavirus. Anyways, Kidia says he's right. Just take slow breaths and try to calm down. Tsubasa says, "Okay. Ha! Phew! Ha! Phew!" Oh my god. She says, "I think that helped." Kidia says, "We should go back to the Bloom Palace. There's nothing left for us here." Itsuki says, "Sounds good." What did I do? Just teleport me out? Tiki says, "What happened, big brother? It felt like the Shadow Dragon got even stronger." Itsuki says, "Sorry, Tiki. The hero's soul we needed to perform the Opera of Light was stolen. Tiki says, huh? Itsuki says, stay calm, I'll explain everything. And then he apparently explains everything. Tiki says, Garnet took the Hero King's soul, and that's why the Shadow Dragon's life force got stronger. Toma says, what the hell can we do? We can't just sit on our asses and let the dragon come back to life. Tiki says, you cannot perform the Opera of Light without that soul, but it's gone. Itsuki says, did you think of anything? Tiki says, there might be one way. Itsuki says, what is it? Tiki says, the Shadow Dragon has the Hero King's soul, right? If we got close enough to the Shadow Dragon, the Opera of Light might still work. Kidia says, of course. Tiki says, but it's dangerous. Just never mind. Pretend I never said it. Itsuki says, I appreciate it, Tiki, but if there's even a chance it'll work, I'm willing to bet everything on it. Itsuki says, what do you think, guys? Yashido says, I concur. It seems that's our only remaining chance at stopping the Shadow Dragon. Toma says, yeah, if we still have an option, we gotta take it. We can't just sit around waiting for the world to end. Kidia says, I think he's right. Ellie says, of course I'm in. This is the big third act twist. Momori says, me too, I'll do my best to protect everyone. Tsubasa says, I'm in too. A dragon that can destroy the world is scary, but with everyone and with you, Itsuki, I can still fight. Because I've already overcome so much already with all of you. Itsuki says, then it's settled. Tiki says, everyone. Itsuki says, we're the only ones who can stop the Shadow Dragon. Let's go. Alright. Tiki's side story is now starting. Tiki says, I had a scary dream. Itsuki says, that bad? Tiki says, yeah. It was a dream where everyone in this world didn't exist anymore. No matter how much I screamed or yelled, no one noticed. It's silly, isn't it? I got you and everyone else with me. I'll just say, we would never leave you. Itsuki says, there's nothing to worry about. Tiki says, thanks, big brother, you're right. And besides, when my sisters, the other Tikis, carry songs to me, I feel like I'm connected with the world. Then again, that's only because my body is made from the performa that my sisters bring me. Itsuki says, in that case, maybe I can make a song too. Tiki says, huh? Itsuki says, I'll do it to make you feel more connected to this world. Tiki says, really? Itsuki says, yeah. Tiki says, yay, it's a promise then. Itsuki says, leave it to me. Alright. We can make new weapons. Alright. Anyways, we leave the Bloom Palace and Itsuki says, Ms. Maiko, Barry, Aya. Maiko says, how'd it go? Barry says, quit holding out on us and tell us what you found out. Aya says, tell us what happened. Itsuki says, things don't look so good. Aya says, no, that can't be. Barry says, so there's a dragon running around the place now and even the Opera of Light might not work. Holy crap. I just say, it's not over yet. Maiko says, Itsuki? Itsuki says, there's something we can do and I don't plan on giving up until the very end. Tsubasa says, I learned something after I became an idol. You can't tell yourself something is impossible before you try. That's how you make it. No, trying is how you start making it possible. We haven't even gotten started yet. Our battle against the Shadow Dragon is just beginning. Maiko says, Tsubasa? She laughs and says, well, you really have become strong. Tsubasa says, of course. I mean, this whole time I've been fighting evil mirages with magic and stuff. Barry says, damn straight. Maiko says, everyone, there's something I want to say. The Opera of Light, fighting the Shadow Dragon, it's all the same as when you're on stage. You play every show like it's your last, you put yourself on the line when you perform for an audience. And putting yourself on the line in the fight against the Shadow Dragon is no different. Give it all you've got. Maiko says, you've improved a lot, but you still have more improvement ahead. Aim for the top and never stop trying. Tsubasa says, understood. Maiko says, Toma. Toma says, yeah? Maiko says, you go overboard sometimes, but you've got a quick wit and quicker reflexes. Don't hesitate to use your strength. Toma says, of course, I'm going all in. Maiko says, Kidia. You're more experienced in the industry as a master. You're more experienced both in the industry and as a master. Support the team, guide them when they need you. Kidia says, goes without saying. Maiko says, Ellie. Ellie says, yeah? Maiko says, you do say some strange things, but nobody can deny your inner radiance. Trust in yourself and the way you fight. Ellie says, I'll debate that first part later, but I've got the second part. I'll show everyone what Hollywood is all about. Maiko says, Momori. Momori says, yes. Maiko says, you have an incredible drive to protect others and keep everyone smiling. Remember not to overlook yourself. Maiko says, hee hee, thanks. I'll do my best. Maiko says, Yashido. You haven't been with us long, but you've definitely changed. I want you to show everyone all you've learned. Yashido says, acknowledged. Maiko says, Itsuki. He says, yes. Maiko says, all this time you've been at the center of this group. You weren't anything special at first, but you drew the others around you. You became the rock. I know you might still be wondering what it is that you truly want, what you want to become, but there's no doubt that all of us at Fortuna only came this far thanks to you. Maiko says, this may be the final battle, so give him a show to remember. Itsuki says, yes ma'am. Barry says, guys, I'll be cheering you on too. Never stop rocking and give it all the passion you have in your soul. Aya says, Itsuki, Tsubasa, everyone, I can't do much for you from here, but please come back safe. Itsuki says, thank you. Let's go, everyone, to the Shadow Dragon, to the Cosmic Egg. Tsubasa says, yeah. My. Anyways, we have been texted. Tiki says, I can't imagine what the idolosphere of Cosmic Egg will look like, but I'm sure you guys can do it. Good luck. Remember, I'm here to help you perform Unity if needed. Ooh. Pardon me. I assume this is part of Tiki's side quest. Crom says, to think you'd bring up wanting to make a song. Tatsuki says, is it odd? Crom says, I think it's a great idea. Your skill as an entertainer has risen quite a lot. I believe you'll mature into a fine man. Itsuki says, I've never composed or written before, what should I do? Crom says, talk to that girl Tiki equals waifu. Itsuki says, true, I'd have nothing to worry about if she teaches me. If I remember correctly, she hangs out at the cafe. I should check it out. Anyways, Itsuki says Tiki. Tiki says, is the song done? Itsuki says, I couldn't have gotten it done that fast. I'm gonna ask Tiki equals waifu to teach me. Tiki says, I see. Itsuki says, I don't know how it'll go, but I'll try my best. Wait for me. Tiki says, okay, I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, off to the cafe. Yowza. Oh boy, look at this hot mess. Get out of my way, bitch! Is that her? Nope. That's not her, so let's just go in the cafe. Itsuki says she's not here. An Udaloid lover says I haven't seen anything from Tiki equals waifu in a while. Her friend says, yeah, it's not like her. Seems like other composers are dropping out. Maybe she's become outdated. She says you've got a point. The Tiki fandom hasn't been too active these last couple days. Itsuki says, what do you think, Crom? Crom says a Mirage may be involved. It's possible Tiki had that nightmare because her supply of Performa has been dropping. Itsuki says if a Mirage is involved, then the 106 is suspect. Crom says, agreed. This may be related to how the composer wandered in there before. Itsuki says, let's check it out. Anyways, we have received another text. Itsuki says, Tiki, I can't find that songwriter. Is it possible she wandered into the 106 again? And then he says, don't worry, Tiki, I'll be sure to bring her back safe if I find her. So I hope you can wait on the song until then. Tiki says, I have a bad feeling about this. Make sure you're careful. And Itsuki says, of course. Crom says, it's faint, but I sense someone's presence. Itsuki says, you can tell? Crom says, that girl has powerful Performa. Considering its potency, it wouldn't surprise me if a Mirage was after it. Itsuki says, we should hurry. But to where, though? Anyways, Tiki texts us and says, I sense a powerful Mirage. It's coming from the deepest room. I think a lot of people might be trapped. Please hurry. Okay. Holy free holies, Batman. Wow. Turn that down a little. Oh, I can hear the frogs chirping in the background. Or croaking, rather? I don't know. Well, just to be safe, we shall save our game when we get down here. He senses evil, and he proceeds. Itsuki says the composer's name. Cervantes says, ha ha ha, commendable making it this far. Crom says, massive amounts of Performa, so the presence I sensed before was from this man. Cervantes says, these humans Performa suit me just fine. Sometimes my brilliance even amazes myself. Crom says, is this man different from the others? What is this feeling? It's like Tiki. No, more than that. Like the fake Yashido. Itsuki says, could it be the Dragonstone? Crom says, just what is he? Cervantes says, my mustache bristles with victory. You think you can beat a general like me? Unlikely. If you wish to save these humans, you must defeat me first. Crom says, careful, Itsuki, that Mirage isn't going down easy. Itsuki says, even so, we can't back down. Let's go. And it is murdering time. Murdering time. Murdering time. Guess what, bitches? It's murdering time. Cervantes says stupid things. They're not worth reading. Anyways. It apparently blocks electricity. Firm resolve. And smashy pie. Cervantes says, stupendous. With this much perform, I can do anything I please. And he shifts his attributes. Oh no. Who are these weak to? Let's see. It likes lightning, apparently. And ice. So let's ice hit this kid. My. And that puppy is dead. Many new skills have been learned. Froggo. Itsuki says, woo. The composer says, where am I? The other one says, I gotta make a new song. Itsuki says, are you okay? Itsuki says, what a relief. Tiki equals waifu says, you're that kind of person. Did you save me again? Thank you very much. Itsuki says, it's nothing. The person says, should I offer you some donuts as a token of my gratitude? Itsuki says, I'm good, thanks. That person then says, what can I do? I'm not parting with these headphones, though. Itsuki says, I was wondering if you could teach me how to compose a song. Tiki says, that's all you want? Not only are you kind, you're selfless. Your request is a piece of cake. Let's begin once we're at the cafe. Itsuki says thanks. I'll escort you there. The person says, how much nicer can you get? However, that won't be necessary. I've come here before, so I can return on my own. Itsuki says, anyways, I should get these others back to Shibuya. Crom says, Itsuki, look at this. It's too small to call it a shard, but it's definitely a piece of the Dragonstone. Itsuki says, you mean from Tiki? Crom says, most likely. This fragment must have fallen into the Mirage's hands. This may have allowed him to gather all that performa to amplify his effects. Itsuki says, we should give it back to her. Crom says, I agree. Anyways. Let us escape. I wonder if my other upload has completed. Nope. Alright. Well, let's get the truck out of here. We have received a message. The composer says, thanks to you, I've returned to Shibuya. I'm at the cafe. Come ASAP. Anyways, Tsubasa has texted us as well. She says, I'm gonna give it my all no matter who we are against. Okay, whatever. There we go. The composer says you made it. Itsuki says I should have introduced myself earlier. My name is Itsuki. The composer says, shall we begin? The composer says, how do I go about teaching you? Usually I make songs like Zap or Bam. Itsuki says Zap. The composer says, why don't I just have you start by writing lyrics? I want you to compose a song. I assume you want to convey your feelings, right? I think it'll work if you think about them while writing the lyrics. Itsuki says, I'll give it a try. The composer says, next is the music, but how do we do it? Well, you know, what's important is going with the flow. Just give it a try, however you want. Itsuki says, could you be more specific? The composer says, come up with a phrase of music, start adding more to it to make that melody stand out. Itsuki says, I'll try that, as though that was advice that's useful. Itsuki says something like this. The composer listens to a song. Yeah, he just did that in like 10 minutes at a cafe. The composer says, I think it sounds fine, but I'm not too sure though. Itsuki says, come on. The composer says, that's just how songs are. There's no right or wrong answer. However, I can sense what you feel for Tiki, so I'm certain it's good. It's as if you're talking about Tiki like she exists. That's quite the imagination you have, not as much as mine though. Itsuki laughs. The composer says, upload it at once. Let's have the whole world hear this embarrassing song. Itsuki says, just one moment. There's someone I want to have listen to it first before anyone else. The composer says, is that so? You actually have a life, huh? Well, I hope you crash and burn then. Itsuki says, thanks for your help. I'm sure this will make her happy. The composer says, I don't get the situation, but good luck to you. Anyways, Itsuki says, the song's done. Tiki says, really? I want to hear it. Itsuki says, I'll be there soon. Hold on. Yowza. Ugh. Tiki says, welcome back. Can we listen to it right away? I say, sure. Itsuki says, what do you think? Tiki says, thank you. I sense a strong connection to the world to you through this. Thank you, big brother. Itsuki says, glad to hear it. Alright, there's this too. We found it at the Idolosphere. Tiki says, ah. When she says, huh? Itsuki says, what's going on? Tiki says, I can touch you. I can't believe it. I can touch you. Itsuki says, you gained physical form. But how? Tiki says, I don't know. It's a miracle. It must be because your song was filled with really powerful feelings. Itsuki says, wait, then that means you might be able to? Tiki says, yep. Itsuki says, what do you want to do? Tiki says, I want to eat a donut for real, and then walk outside, and then... Itsuki says, let's do everything. Tiki says, really? Itsuki says, leave it to me. Tiki says, one more thing, I want to do a concert like everyone else. Itsuki says, right, leave it to me. Loading. Tiki says that concert felt really great. Thank you, big brother. Itsuki says, glad to hear it. Tiki says, so this is what everyone does. Itsuki says, singing isn't the only thing. I'm sure you'd enjoy acting too. You can keep trying new things and find out what you want to do. Tiki says those donuts were good too. Itsuki says there are a lot more delicious things, not just donuts. I'll take you all over. Tiki says, thanks, big brother. But I'm sorry, I don't think it'll be possible. Itsuki says, Tiki? Tiki says, looks like my time is up. Itsuki says, no. Tiki says, I had fun, I felt so happy. Big brother, thank you for granting so many of my wishes. Itsuki says, what do you mean you had fun? You finally got to go outside. Tiki says, I'm sorry. Itsuki says, don't disappear, Tiki. Tiki says, I'll always remember the warmth of your hand. Itsuki says, ah. And then Tiki disappears. Itsuki says, Tiki! Itsuki comes back to the Bloom Palace, and there she is. Obviously. Tiki says, welcome back. I should apologize. When I came to, I was back here. Looks like the effect of that dragon stone wore off. Itsuki says, I thought you disappeared. Tiki laughs, because apparently the idea of her not existing is hilarious for some reason. Tiki says, there's much more I need to do. I can't disappear that easily. Itsuki says, when someone disappears like that, people in this world think that they're gone for good. Tiki says, sorry I worried you. Itsuki says, I'm glad you're here. Tiki says, I love you, big brother. Itsuki says, huh? Tiki says, it's nothing. The job is complete. My. We have gotten another Master Seal, which I don't need. And some people have leveled up. And taken cocaine. Anyways, Tiki has a skill that means we might not use our EP. How fancy. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go to the Cosmic Egg. I remember this hellhole. What I'm hoping to do is to walk in here, trigger the side story for Yashido, and then go back and do that, and then, yeah, save this dungeon for another stream, because there's no way I'm going to finish it that quickly. Tsubasa says, I sense something scary. Itsuki says, Tsubasa. Tsubasa says, I'm okay. Prom says, that's an ominous aura. It might be even more powerful than we figured. Haida says, yes. Garneth, what have you done? Itsuki says, let's hurry everyone, we need to complete the Opera of Light and summon the Divine Dragon. Alrighty. Well, we have not triggered any side quest. But I don't want this to turn into like a 4-hour video, so bear with me a sec here. Alright, we received a text from Maiko. She says, 5 years ago I didn't even know his name, but now Garneth is gone. Just wish he hadn't left us with this parting gift. Alrighty. Anyways, I'm gonna end this stream here. I'm gonna probably take a 10 or 15 minute break because my previous upload has not completed yet, and then I'll start my new upload. And I didn't expect this to have this much stuff left, so let me see. Yeah, I'll definitely come back and do like at least another hour, but give me about 15 minutes. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a little bit.